These aren't the only 5 by any means, right? Happy 5 Fact Friday. 5 Fact Friday. I'm Charlie Lambden, and it is 5 Fact Friday. I made it with 2 minutes to spare. I just got back from an all-day conference in London. I was on the bus, which then stopped and didn't go to the bridge. I had to walk. Then I was on the tube. Then I got distracted by my phone and a drunk guy on the tube who got off at the wrong stop. Missed my stop, and then I had to walk. Anyway, I've made it, and I've got a cup of tea. I'm sorry I didn't wait to make my cup of tea first, and I have just bought the kettle. Just give me a moment to compose myself. Who have I got this evening? God, there are people watching. Midnight on a Friday. What are you up to? I've had a really enjoyable day. I went to an estate agency conference. I was invited as a guest. It was otherwise a very expensive day, but I was invited as a guest, which is a nice surprise because, I'm not that popular with a lot of agents. And I got a really warm reception there. And it was nice. And it was an awards ceremony for a particular network of agents around the country, all the different brands, all independent owner-managed agents. I was invited by a really, really well-known run who everyone likes and respects a lot. I used to win lots of awards. Sorry, I'm still making my tea. Just got to get the tea bag out. And I also met some amazing agents, one of whom, who's on the table I was sitting at, she used to work for a corporate agent, and she was telling stories about the things that they used to make her do as a valuations manager, as someone dealing with the clients coming on board, and how she hated it so much that she left and is now set up on her own. And I said, would you come onto my channel and tell everyone the story about what actually goes on in these corporate agents? She was just spilling the beans about all of the dirty tricks that they play and how awful they are for sellers. Wrong glasses. There we are. I can see now. Oh, and I'm hot and I'm sweaty because I got caught in the rain. Sorry, guys. I had to do it before midnight. Otherwise it wouldn't have been 5 Fact Friday, would it? Would have been 5 Fact Saturday morning. Oh, this is my favorite part of the evening. Slurp coming up. Steam my glasses up. Oh, did anyone see my slot on GB News this evening? The one that I recorded yesterday morning. Who've we got here this evening? Jamie, hi there. Nikki, Lisa Redfield, that's a new name. Hi there. John McLeod. It was quite an eventful journey back with buses. I was carrying stuff, and and I just desperately wanted to make it because I've never missed a 5 Fact Friday. And although it's now, I think, it's midnight now. I started it before midnight, so I've kept my record up. I've never missed. I have actually prepared them. They're in the 5 facts are in the description below. But the other thing I wanted to say before I just start about this evening's event, they had a wonderful comedian. She was the actress Kerry. Did you watch Ricky Gervais's show Afterlife? She was his wife who dies of cancer in Afterlife. The actress who played that character was this evening's presenter and comedian, and she was brilliant, very, very funny. They had a great band. And I watched these agents winning their awards and collecting their awards, and it just reminded me actually how utterly heroic some of them are. Not all of them by any means, but some of them are truly utterly heroic. And there was a guy there who got a Lifetime Achievement Award, and they talked about all the things he had done for the town and the community where he's been an estate agent for 50 years, starting in the 70s as a junior guy and then ending up owning and running his own business. And it's independent. And he owned it and run it his whole life. And he just basically a massive contributor to his community and much loved and stuff. And it just reminded me, really good agents do change people's lives when they help them get through a move that will otherwise be really difficult. Don't keep removing items of clothing, says Very Limited. Otherwise, it'll look like a striptease. Yes, that's for my OnlyFans account later, right? Happy? No, Alex Jenkinson. It was Friday when I started, not Saturday. Alrighty, so I don't have these up on screen ready, so let's get into them. Okay. let's start with this one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that I'm making you wait. So the first one is important. It's very important for the housing market. I don't think it's going to affect anyone's moving plans anytime soon. Let me share it with this on the screen. And this is the government announcing their radical action to speed up removal of unsafe cladding. Now, this is obviously great, and it's overdue already. It's obviously a result of the Grenfell tragedy. The government will set out tough new targets. Now, half of this is really, really good. This is published this week. The second half, so this part here, by the end of 2029, so okay, that's still 5 years away, but all 18-meter or higher high-rise buildings with unsafe cladding in a government-funded scheme will have been remediated. So that is a very, very clear statement that the work will have been done and finished and completed by the end of 29 for the 18-meter or higher buildings. And I think this is going to help free up the people who are currently trapped in flats that they can't sell because of the unsafe cladding. And I'm not, my knowledge on this is not as detailed as it should be, but the second part is slightly less clear. It says by the end of 2029, every 11-meter or higher building with unsafe cladding will either have been remediated, have a date for completion, or the landlords will be liable for severe penalties. So it doesn't say what the penalties are, but having a date for completion is a really vague and open-ended. It's like that means the landlords can just go, oh yeah, well, 2050. We'll do it by 2050. So I don't know. Let's just see. But the thing is, although this doesn't affect the housing market today, this is long overdue and it's important news for the housing market. And I welcome it, and I hope that this will help everyone who's been affected by it, although it's taken very long to get here. But I welcome it, and I must congratulate the government on getting this done. And it's Angela Rayner who's done this, and Alex Norris MP. So that's fact number one, right? The government has announced the measures to remediate the unsafe cladding issues, and that's good. Okay, now it feels like a lot longer ago than last Saturday, but last Saturday, the Daily Telegraph reported house price growth slashed amid higher mortgage and stamp duty costs. Forecasts downgraded after jump in interest rates following Labour's budget. Now, I mean, that goes up and down like a yo-yo every week. And of course, today the Halifax announced house prices have jumped. And that's not one of the 5 facts because honestly, of all the house price indices, I think the Halifax one has probably got the least credibility in my eyes. Anyway, that's fact number 2. And I haven't done the usual preparation I would do for this video. Sorry about that. I'm going to jump straight on to number 3, which is some YouTuber actually says there's some YouTuber who says, what does he say? The ONS was wrong on house prices. Hang on a second. There it is. And that, of course, is me doing a video because apart from the Daily Telegraph article it reported and put that graph in it, right? Let's just remind ourselves about that graph and what it says, because this is really important. And if anyone didn't see this, then I really want you to see it. That graph there, which starts for 2021 and goes up to the end of 2023, so to a year ago, that blue line, right? That blue line shows you how much the Office for National Statistics revised its average house price figure for the UK down 12 months after its initial announcement, right? So on the left-hand side of that graph, it started off with the 2021 prices being downgraded between £1,000 and £2,000 compared to what they were initially reported at when the revisions were completed another year later. And it goes month by month onwards from there. And you can see that downward trend until it started reporting house prices at the end of 2023. Now, what this graph is saying, and this is arguably the most important fact of the week, right, is that the black line at the top represents the price that they originally reported it at. The black line at the top of that graph, right? You see it? And the distance between the black line and the blue line on that graph is how much they were revised down a year later. All right. And what you can see there is at the end, towards the end of 2023, the prices that were initially reported by the ONS was subsequently revised down almost £8,000. Right? Right down there, that's that bottom line there is £7,000 lower. The average, when they finished recording all the transactions, the average house price was £7,000 lower than when it was initially reported. But they don't publish this. They don't put it out there. You have to go and dig through their figures and find it. And the Telegraph did that. And this is massive, because what it means is that in a year ago, when they reported September 23's prices, they said, oh, house prices are this. And they were £7,000 out. And in percentage terms, that's between 2.5% and 3% out. And the headlines would have read completely differently. And if the headlines had read accurately, it would have changed people's buying decisions. And so my point is that the reason this is such an important fact is because it's proof, hard, incontrovertible, smoking gun proof, that the ONS's initial house price releases are, which they say that they're estimates, and they warn that they're going to be revised, but they are always revised down. And most recently, the downwards revisions have been almost £8,000. All right. And I know I spent a long time on that fact, but my God, that is the biggest fact, I think, for a long time. That a national newspaper is reporting how wrong the ONS is, but no one else has picked it up. It's a big story. No one else has picked it up. In fact, everyone's sort of gone, shh. And then today, the Halifax goes, house prices have jumped, and the record house prices. And everyone's going, yay. And everyone's shut up. Look. But today, just to underline the extent of how wrong this is, I'm going to read you a comment that I just got today on a YouTube video from someone who watched last night's video, right? Remember last night's video? Just bear with me. Let me find this, because it was a live stream last night. This comment speaks volumes. Okay, I'm sorry, forgive me. It is worth finding this. Here it is. So all the reasons to buy a property have gone bar one. Okay, where are the comments? I can't get to the comments. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I know this is an absolute cluster. What's it? Where is it? Come on. Here we are. Somebody called Rebecca Nicola 8256 said, I've been following you. No, that's not the right one. So there's so many comments here. It's basically, it's a seller. Sorry, guys. I know this is live and I'm wasting masses of your time. Let me see if I can. I can't find it. If you don't believe me, go look in the comments of last night's video. But basically what the comment said is, I'm the seller of a big 5-bed detached house, and there are only 2 of us. And I've not enjoyed hearing what you've been saying. I've been following you for a while, but I am beginning to believe you, and the reality is sinking in. We're trying to downsize. We can't sell our 5-bedroom house. What should we do? And I answered with the only thing you can ever say, which is, you've got to just tell your agent to do whatever they have to lower the price to get competing bids. See what the competing bids are, then you can make a decision, right? And this is what happens when people get misled by the Office for National Statistics initial estimates being so far out that all the newspapers go, yay, oh, and it says house prices are rising, when they're not. Anyway, that was fact number 3. No, that was only fact number fact number 3. Some YouTuber says ONS was wrong about house prices. Fact number 4, UK house building falls the most in 5 months in the wake of the budget. Let me just get that article here. There we are on Bloomberg. UK house building declined at the sharpest pace in 5 months in November, with construction firms blaming weak consumer confidence after the Labour government's first budget. Hang on, what's happened there? Sorry, guys. Don't know what happened there. But there we are. That's that story. Sorry, I'm not even sharing it. I'm all over the place this evening. I'm really sorry, guys. There's the story on Bloomberg. UK house building falls most in 5 months in wake of budget. UK house building declined at the sharpest pace in 5 months in November, with construction firms blaming weak consumer confidence after the Labour government's first budget. And it goes on to talk about that. So the survey's residential construction gauge slipped to 47.9, the weakest since June, as firms blamed fragile consumer confidence and high interest rates. I don't know if they're right about what they're blaming, but the point is that they aren't going to keep building houses if people aren't going to buy them. And so that's why they're slowing down their building. All right. So that's fact number 4. And fact number 5 was a not, unsurprisingly, you'll see why, a not very widely reported story by Hampton's estate agents. Asking price discounts rise ahead of stamp duty changes. Now, I find that interesting because normally what you'd expect is that actually buyers would pay more to beat a stamp duty deadline where their costs of buying are going to rise. Buyers will go, hang on, let's pay a bit more to get this done before then. Oh, I was going to have to pay much more stamp duty. But actually, what this story is reporting is that home buyers are successfully negotiating more substantial discounts on property purchases in anticipation of the stamp duty increase. The average buyer who had an offer accepted in November 24 negotiated a median discount of £5,000 off the asking price. This is the biggest discount since December 23 and has doubled from the £2,500 1 month earlier in October 2024. All right. So that is really interesting, because if that is true, and if that's true of the wider market and buyers are negotiating bigger discounts, it means that it's very much a buyer's market and that sellers are competing, because you wouldn't drop your price more as a seller if you didn't need to. And if you need to, it's because you're competing with other people that are selling. So those sellers that are dropping their prices to get their property sold before the stamp duty deadline rises on the 1st of April are being very wise. And that's fact number 5, I think. Yeah, I did it. I know it's Saturday now, but it was Friday when I started. So to anyone who says, but it's Saturday. Do we have questions, guys? Do we have questions? Because I have got back and I am kind of buzzing a bit and having my cup of tea and kind of wind down. But do we have any interesting questions here from anybody? Anyone want to ask me anything? Anything at all? Did anyone see the GB News? I posted earlier. Be curious to know what anyone thought about that. Yes. Mega Jewel for Currency says, strong old batch of guff wafting around BBC News today record house prices. Jamie Murray says, I've been waiting here for 12 hours. No, 6 hours, actually. 6. I scheduled it for 6 p.m. Don't know why I did that, but yeah. Douglas Ray says, this does affect the housing market as many people are trapped, unable to sell. Yes, you're quite right. You're quite right. But my point is, it's not going to make an immediate difference to them. They're still going to have to wait 5 years. So although it's news this week, it isn't going to affect the market for some time. Get someone from the ONS on the show. I could ask. I suspect hell would freeze over, but that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Ba, 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 ba. Just looking through comments. That's true. Sir Fleshmore says, well, Charlie said before that HMRC knows all the prices immediately when the stamp duty is paid. So why don't they just automate the reporting? It's so dumb. Absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree. Um, oh, thank you, Ditchhead. If you're talking about my GB News interview, you said I did myself proud. Shameless to social. It is the same. I actually had prepared so much more to talk about, but and I wasn't expecting. If you saw it, I didn't put this on what I uploaded earlier. I wasn't expecting them to start asking me about my flying, and I never talk about my flying on this channel. Um, so we spent half of it talking about that, which I would much rather have talked about the housing market, but I didn't get a say. But oh, fantastic! Thanks, Mike. Mike says saw your chat with Lee Anderson and was impressed that the questions and answers were spot on. Cool. I didn't know what the questions were going to be in advance. I had a lot more I wanted to say. Siddhartha Bomik says, Charlie, is it wise to buy a house in the range of 350 now or wait for 2025? I'm not in a hurry and I rent currently. This is actually a moot question unless you've found a property that you want to buy. So I will repeat, there's never an exception to this. If you want a house, go out and view. Because I think you asked me this question a couple of days ago. Go out and view. Always be out viewing, because you might find somewhere that you can get for a price you want that you haven't got to wait for. If you want one, there's no point in waiting. I know you're comfortable now and you're not that motivated, but that's a very strong position to be in as a buyer. Thank you, Stephen Govia and Jamie Murray. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I hope more to come. I asked him about. There's possibly a chance I'll be on Mark Dolan's show talking about housing, and hopefully I'll get a bit longer. I even talked to my PR about actually pitching a regular housing market show. It could be good. It could be good. Oh yes, Mike, that would be cool. I hope I can get a minister or two to chat with and see what the government's up to. I would love to do that. It's a lot of work to make that happen, and I don't have the team to make that happen. If there's anyone watching this who can help make that happen, who'd help get me to be able to talk to housing ministers about the housing market, and in particular about the prices and the lack of transparency of the prices, that would be amazing. But otherwise, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you and wish you all a very happy Friday evening and Saturday morning now. Have a great weekend. I'm supposed to be driving back to Devon tomorrow, but there's a red weather alert for wind from 3 a.m. tonight until 11 a.m. tomorrow morning for the West Country where I live, which is a danger to life. So I'm not going to drive through that. That would be silly. I'm going to wait till that's past, the worst of it's blown over, and then go home. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Thank you, Dean. And thank you for putting up with my absolutely shambolic show this evening. Cheers, guys. Have a good